In this question, we know that x plus 2 is a factor of px, and we also know that the remainder when px is divided by 2x minus 1 is 40. So when we do f of minus 2, we're going to get 0 out because x plus 2 is a factor. That will give us a times minus 2 cubed plus b times minus 2 squared plus 37 times minus 2 plus 10, and we know it equals 0, so that would be minus 8a plus 4b minus 74 plus 10 equals 0. So minus 8a plus 4b is going to equal 64. When we put 2x minus 1 gives us a remainder of 40. So when we put in x equals a half, when we do x equals a half, that's going to give us 40. So let's put that into the equation. We've got a times by a half cubed plus b times by a half squared plus 37 times by a half plus 10. That's all going to equal 40. So that will give us a over 8 plus b over 4 plus 37 over 2 plus 10 all equals 40. So tidying that up a bit, we've got 1/8 of a plus 1/4 of b, and that's going to be 30 minus 18.5. So that's going to give us 11 and a half, or 11.5. Now have these two simultaneous equations to solve. This one here, and this one here. I would just do this on my calculator. I would go to menu, then equation solver, simultaneous, and there's two unknowns. In the top row, I would just type in minus 8 plus 4 equals 64, and then in the bottom row I would type 1/8 or 0.125 plus 0.25 equals 11.5. So if you type that into simultaneous equation solver on your calculator, it should just give you the answer, which is that it will say x, but it's actually a in this question. So a equals 12 and b will be 40. Part B seems to have disappeared. Let's just go back. I deleted too much. I'll just clear that up a bit. That's better. So part 2 has come back. From part 1, we know that a equals 12 and b equals 40. In part 2, we need to factorize this polynomial completely when a is 12 and b is 40. And we know that x plus 2 is a factor. That means we need to do this division. So 12x cubed plus 40x squared plus 37x plus 10 needs to be divided by x plus 2. So let's do 12x cubed divided by x. That's going to give us 12x squared. Then we'll do 12x squared multiplied by this to give us 12x cubed plus 24x squared, and we'll subtract here to give us 16x squared. Now we'll divide this by x, so that would be plus 16x, and we'll multiply 16x by x plus 2 to give us 16x squared plus 32x, and we need to bring down the 37x and subtract to give us 5x. Divide 5x by x and we get 5. Now let's bring, well it doesn't matter really, but let's multiply 5 by x plus 2, so 5x plus 10, and bring that 10 down and subtract. Now as we expected, there's no remainder because it tells us that x plus 2 is a factor. So we know that px is going to equal this times by this, which is x plus 2, 12x squared plus 16x plus 5. We need to factorize that quadratic now. Not the easiest quadratic to factorize, so I would type into my I would solve this on my calculator, and if you solve this on your calculator, the quadratic equal to 0, type in 12, 16 and 5. It helps with your factorizing, because when the quadratic equals 0, this quadratic, we know we should get x equals minus a half, and x equals minus 5 over 6. So to get minus a half, it makes sense for this to be 2x plus 1, and to get minus 5 over 6, this would be 6x plus 5. So I think it helps to use the equation solver on your calculator to help you factorize a bit quicker. So that will be the answer.